Thank you for coming, everybody.
Hello.
Today, we decided to do our chat about preparing for classes. So, oh, I see someone else is just joining us also. Great. So, we're going to talk about preparing for classes. I know some teachers have said they don't prepare, some have said that they prepare a little bit, some really go overboard and prepare. So, we wanted to talk today about how do you prepare for your lessons? Um, I'll just say from my own experience, preparing for lessons makes me feel flexible, ready, ready. I'm prepared, I'm flexible. You need to be flexible as an online teacher, don't you guys think? Like, you just never
Yes.
know.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
it makes me feel more confident when I'm ready to teach. So, how about you guys? Being prepared, how does it make you feel?
For me, being prepared has really changed over time. Now that I've been with VIP Kid for more than 3 years, I
Mhm.
see the progression of like way over prepared or terrified to teach. So, like typing out every slide for my first few lessons and writing down what I would respond and what questions I would ask. And like, oh my God, it was so much. And I thought, if I have to keep this up, there is 0% chance that I'm going to teach more than like one class a day. Like, it's
Right?
just terrible. And over time, that has transitioned, and I will share some of the things that I do now, as we discuss more. But, you know, recently, because I've taught so many of the same classes over and over, and my props are all set, I can literally take a brief little glance and say, oh, yeah, nothing has changed, and
Right.
I'm set to go. So, it really depends on experience with the lessons and
Mhm.
experience as a teacher, how comfortable you feel. So I feel like I've run the whole gamut.
Great. Every once in a while, a lesson will pop up I haven't taught yet.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and Cindy, how about you?
So I think I'm the same way. Like when I first started, I was very, I had a notebook and I wrote the name and I wrote all my notes and, tried to think about which props would work for this class or that class. To make it easier on myself, I always did like the same reward throughout the day for everybody, or I would use it even all week if I had all different students. If I had the same student twice or something, I would switch it. But I would try to my rewards like at Dragon Boat Festival, everybody did the dragon boat until
Okay.
I done it with everyone. And so that kind of made the reward part easier. And I would adapt my own behavior according to the kid. If it's a younger kid, you play it up. If it's an older kid, you could ask questions about it. Have you ever been to the Dragon Boat Festival, in person or whatever like that? So, as far as rewards, I started that a long time ago, just not really trying to make every reward fit every single class because I felt like that would drive me insane.
Mhm.
But one of the things I do is I look at my phone, like obviously we're starting early in the morning. So it might even be before I actually get out of bed that I'll, or even the night before, I'll look at my phone and I'll figure out, I do 4, 5, or 6 classes in a row and I'll just kind of look at each class. And if it says like now we have the new level ones, so I may not have taught those, so I
Right.
might look at those. Certain ones I might look at them and see what's coming up on my phone. So by the time I go into my classroom, I kind of think about what I'm going to do, but I don't really make a big, huge, you know, plan the night before.
Right.
I like Mary, I've taught enough classes and, being a teacher, I had a trial last week and I was all ready. It was one of those classes I really prepared for. And I'm like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to do the new Manicam reward. Within a second, it switched from the robot, ball, and banana to animals. Like it wasn't even close to similar. So fortunately, the kid showed up with a monkey. So I still used the monkey reward.
There you go.
But you just never know if that could happen. And so you do have to be ready, even though you're prepared. Think about the fact that it could change. And
Right. So we have a new friend with us today. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for coming.
Hello. Thank you for having me. And I will say I agree completely with what both of them just said. And I think it's just also the more you have taught, the easier it does become. It takes less preparation time. I know in the beginning, I was taking a lot of time to prepare for each lesson. And it was just, if I'm taking 30 minutes to prepare for a 30-minute lesson, it's like, why am I even doing this? Fortunately, I feel like once you get into the groove and you've taught several of these, they, for the most part, have the same flow. Now, I do obviously still look over the slides before I teach. I do have everything very close to me. So whatever props I need, I can just reach and grab and be ready. I keep a whiteboard, several whiteboards close to me. So if we need to sound out words or practice words, but I do think that the more you've taught, just knowing the extension questions to ask and how to keep them engaged and keep going, I think that part of it definitely becomes much easier.
Yeah, I'm the same way a little bit in that I still, I always look over, but I don't remember the lessons from previous. I mean, you guys know me and my squirrel, so I'd be like, oh, I've taught this 100 times, but what was the grammar on there again? I will say the grammar is probably the only part of the lesson that I worry about. So anytime I have a higher level, I definitely have to check the grammar because that is where I have the most trouble. Like for some of it, I've always said these things in sentences, but didn't have a rule or a name for the rule. So I always have to go back and check that out.
Yes.
So one of the things that I mean, the very first thing was type everything out into 2 long sheets.
Yeah.
But then after a while, I developed a really cool system. And and now I don't even rely on this, but I have this great recipe box, and it's got a little ridge on top. And I made an index card for every lesson.
Oh, wow.
So it just sits
It's a great idea
in the right-hand corner. And so I just need to make this the first time it's a new lesson to me. So before, I would write down like the level, the unit, the lesson number, the topic, and the first rows are the props I might pull. Okay. And then slide by slide, I would have little notes for myself. And then it transformed more into this. Like if there was a particular slide that I might need a little tip on the grammar, for instance, or something, it might be on here, but it's certainly not every slide. But this is just so handy because I have 2 boxes, one for like level 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7. But it's just so easy to pull and to know what props to gather. So that's one of the systems that I really, really like. If someone wants something that's more written out, is to make an index card and get yourself a box like this. It's so easy and handy.
Yeah, I have a bunch of papers still that I wrote out, and I can't get myself to trash them, even though I don't use them anymore. But I'm like, oh. So I used to use.
I think for a new person, I would just jump in there and say, don't try to do every single class before you teach it. Like I would do it as you're going, because you don't really know. What I'm saying is like the night before, do all the classes for the next day.
Right.
Don't worry if you don't have every single class that VIPKid offers written down. You just kind of do it progressively, because that's what drove me crazy at first. Was I just want all the lessons given to me, and I want to be able to go through the whole curriculum. I didn't really like being surprised every day. Like that kind of did bug me at first. It was like, why can't we just have the book? Just send us the book with all the classes in it. We can go through it. Because sometimes if you qualify for all the levels, then you're jumping level 1, level 4, level 2, level 6, and it's kind of at first, like now I kind of like it because I like the variety. But at first it was kind of nerve wracking because you're like, I don't see the progression. Like, what am I preparing them for? Like, what's the next class? What do I need to make sure they know well for the next class? That's now I know, like lesson 11, make sure that they're ready for the final project and all that stuff. But when I was new, I didn't have the big picture. Like, it was sort of, I didn't kind of grasp it all at first. So that's what I would say is, don't worry if you don't grasp it all. Just, you will eventually figure all of those details out, but not try to have all of the classes in a row.
Right. I used to make one drawer per child, and I had 26 classes one night, and I'm like, how am I going to get all these ready?
Oh.
And I was a new teacher, but I did go through all the trials and make those ahead of time. But that was the only thing I went through ahead of time and made every single lesson for.
How many trials are there now?
Like, I want to say like 5 or 6. I don't know.
Is that all? I thought
I don't know.
Okay.
I seem to get the same 2 or 3 all the time.
It seems like there's a lot. Like
the Starlight ones alone, there's
that's true. That's true.
Oh, that's the right. I switched from like an animal one to a salad one. And I'm like, that is a big switch. So I was glad I had Manny Cam at that point.
I'm ready for salad.
The drawer. So what I have to, I'm a physical props queen. Like I'm just over the top with that. So I have these rolling carts that pull out drawers, and I have one for every unit in every level. So like we're talking 10 rolling carts with 10 drawers each. Yeah. Like, so this is Peru, right? So I know I'm doing a lesson on Peru. I pull it out. Now that's even changed a lot as I'm, when I went to Canada this summer to be with my mom and was away for a long time, I had to I can pick a few props to bring. And that totally changed my prep, like how I prep now, how I use props now. It totally got me into a new mindset. But yet, the drawer option is really nice, but I'm finding I use that less and less. But I do have that for the trials because it's just right beside me, that rolling cart. Oh, this trial's here. Pull it out with the little cue card if I need it. And I'm set to go and swap in the middle of any change that they might throw at me, which is really handy.
So Jason said the only prep he does is Feedback Panda before classes start. So Jason, what does Feedback Panda tell you? Just the feedback for that lesson, or do you have your own notes written in there? Rebecca said, yes, at first I wanted to see the flow from one class to the next, especially wanted to see what was going to be on the assessment. So many and lots of versions of each trial that I'm thinking. There is trial 3.0 and trial 5.0 and Starlight. But once you have them prepped, you're good to go. She has a ton of trials lately. Rebecca, it's not too late to come on here and do the prop quiz when we get ready for that.
I just wanted to share too that I'm doing a lot of trying to share what you can do with digital rewards. And there's a lot of people talk about ManyCam, which I just showed up some food. Now, this is really good if you like technology. I kind of like it. And you can do it in different ways. You can add your personality to it. You can, like with the salad, and you can put it on and off. I have a whole list. You can use one reward. Like I have a cookie here. You could give the kid, 5 cookies during the class as a reward, 5, and like this. And there's different ways that you can use the rewards that are simple. Mm-hmm. And then I also have on my channel, I have a lot of using the iPad, and I just figured out how to do it with ManyCam, and I can put my iPad on the side here, and I can use either Google Slides, or I can use this is Google Slides, and this is me in the corner here. So you can, Google Slides is a reward, but it also can be like a prop. Okay, so like today I had a kid, and this kid really doesn't like to read much. Okay, so his reward, I think this, I don't know if this is the right one. Yeah, this is India. So this is like a find a star. So he would be finding a star, but he's also going to see pictures of India. That's the star.
Oh,
So
cute.
here's pictures of India. And so I can make myself big, small like this, and then I can switch it back like this. So it's a find a star. So for him, he can't use a lot of time playing around. So we just find a star every 5 minutes or so, and it's a great break. But he also sees cool pictures of India. So in a way, it's a prop, in a way, it's a reward. And I really like that. And the Google Slides are all free. You can also hold them up to your phone. Like say you want to put them on your phone, you can hold. That's what I did for a long time. If you have an iPad or you don't want to do digital. And then there's also a way to do it on your computer. And I'm doing it as a separate thing on my iPad. You can't really see it, but I have my iPad here. So it's a touch screen. So it's not connected to. So I'm sharing information on my channel about that, but that cuts down on my prep time too. Because in the 5 minutes between class, I can say, oh, it's Dino, he's doing India, and I can go find my India, and I can switch it out too, because he's my only one that's doing India right now. And so I can find different ones, and Google Slides has them, and also Stars to Apples have them. So I can give him a different technique every time, or I can just say, hey, I'm going to give him hamburgers and pizza today, because I don't have to do something completely related. Sometimes they like something completely different, and you just, so that cuts down on my prep time, trying to find things all over my desk and, holding things up and different things like that. And I think it's really effective because they can see real pictures. I actually made a board.
The picture is clearer too, because I hold mine up, but you can see I have to adjust the lighting.
Right.
So obviously I did a level 2 food. I should have asked you guys, which one is it?
Yeah. And so I can say I've showed pictures, say I went sledding. I can show a little video. I can show photos of my family. You can do anything on your iPad. It took me a while, but I figured it out. And it just is really effective. And the kids it draws them in. Like you can, you're not just sitting there going, hey, look at this, look at this. It just totally draws them right in because, that's what they want. And then for me, a big part of the lessons are just getting them to speak English. You're concerned about the grammar. I'm not really that concerned about the grammar personally, because I feel like they get a lot of the grammar and they repeat so much. I feel like sometimes they learn the grammar, but for me, when I learned a second language, it was like, the grammar I could get, but the speaking part was the part that I had a hard time with. So I try to ask questions, pull them out, and try to make them more fluent to speak, so I try to ask a lot of questions. And the grammar parts, I kind of just stick to the slides. I just read it, they read it, we check on it, they make a mistake, we review it, but I don't really add a lot to the grammar part.
When I was learning Japanese, the grammar was really hard. When to put in the O and when.
Well, I haven't done Japanese, so I'm sure that's hard.
Can talk all day, but not formal.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you lived there, so.
I did. I lived there for 7 years. Yeah. So, Stephanie, you said you like 3D props the best, or do you use a little bit of everything, or what's your setup?
I use both. Yeah, I have both. I use a lot of stuff on my phone, just holding it up and showing different things. On the Stars to Apples, as you probably know, there are props on there. I will use things that relate to my home or my family also to hold up and show the kids. I feel like they're able to make really good connections and remember it, and they're interested because they're seeing what the teacher has or does. I will say that preparing for the lower levels is much easier than the upper levels. For the old level ones, I could just pretty much glance at it and in 30 seconds grab everything I need and I'm ready to go. Level 2, I teach a ton of level 2s. So I feel like I've pretty much have that. Anytime I'm going like level 6 or level 7, and I don't have a lot of those, but I make sure to put some extra prep time in there just to make sure that I completely understand each part of it and that I'm making sure they're doing it correctly. So I personally like the younger ones, the lower levels, and I just think it's much easier to prepare for. But then with the upper levels, I do feel like you've got way more conversation. So, you know, even though you have to do a little, or I have to do a little bit of extra prep work, you know, it's worth it because there's a lot more extending that you can do.
Right. Great.
I had a level 7 today that was a dream.
Did you?
She
Nice.
was amazing. I'm like, please come back to my class. She was so cute.
I wanted to mention Morgan Brown has a great video on her YouTube channel. She talks about 5 steps for new teachers. So if you're a brand new teacher, you definitely want to prepare more than some of the veteran teachers. I think the biggest thing is so that you can be flexible in the classroom. If you have a student that's, you know, I don't know, not participating or participating really well and you need extensions and things, you just want to be ready. And I think preparing makes you ready. But these are her 5 steps. 1, check the certification center. I totally forgot about this when we were getting ready. I was like, oh, good job, Morgan, thanks. So I watched her video 3 times to make sure I was ready. So she mentions going to the scope and sequence so you can see what came before the lesson, what they need to know. And then number 2 was read through the student info, which is something I do every class if I don't know the student. I go and check it out or check the student out so I know the age. I love Find the Stars. If I know I have a 14-year-old boy, I'm pulling out Minecraft and Pokemon. So if I've got a little girl, then my Find a Star might only have 9 numbers versus the normal 12 that I have. So, or a little boy, a younger student in level 1 is only going to have 9 versus 12. So those are some things I look at. Number 3, she said, read through the lesson, preview the lesson, which, I mean, really, because you don't know, she said, maybe look at what possible issues may come up and what props you want. You don't need a prop for every slide or every word on there. So just a couple of props to get your point across really helps. And the 4th thing was prepare the props. And number 5, she talked about knowing what you can do for TPR. So if you have run on your slide, you can run. The important thing about TPR, Shannon Mabry, I'm throwing it out there, is it's a response. The child should be doing it back. That is the important thing. You do, they do. So I thought that was great. For more information, go check out Morgan Brown. What is it, Cindy?
Teacher Morgan SWM.
Teacher Morgan SWM. I'll put it in the description box.
Yeah.
She's got great videos.
One thing to add to that, I think, is like when you're looking at your props, you can also keep in mind you can use something the opposite. Like say you're talking about healthy food, you could get some unhealthy food, to kind of add. And, in the stress of trying to make sure you do everything right, you can add a little bit of fun to it by doing something the opposite. Like if you're talking about dogs and cats, you could take out a lion or something like that. So that's always a fun way to add to the lesson.
Well, I think anytime you can get them smiling or laughing, it also they engage more and they remember it. Something that I did, I haven't done this in a while, is I would, and I've heard it pronounced both ways, GIF, I don't know which way is correct, but I would use those. But okay, yeah. But I would text those to myself. I would look at the lesson beforehand and go through. So if the vocabulary word was out, I would go through and find something that was really funny, really silly for out, text it to myself. So everything was right there. And the kids thought it was so funny, but they remembered the word though. I mean, it was exaggerated, but they remembered it. So they enjoyed that.
That's a good
You know,
idea.
I have never used a digital reward. So I'm taking the class now, but you know, I've been such a physical in my hands kind of teacher. And I'm just wondering, like you're saying, it's just as effective. It looks flatter. Like I like the 3D dimension of physical props. What's your take on that? Because I'm just curious as I think about making that transition. I can see how handy it would be for the photos, like when you're talking about landforms, being able to
true.
pop up different pictures or the different cities or places that they visit. Those lessons, I'm thinking, oh, I don't need my photo file anymore. I can just, once I figure it out, go to Manycam and pop it in. But some of those other things like in and out, I like having like a hat and putting it in and out
Yeah.
and getting
Yeah.
them to do it
So I
as
think
well.
that's good to do both, you know.
Mhm.
But you're finding that that putting it up on the screen, they're engaging just as much with it? Because I'd have no experience with that part.
Oh, I did Elsa. I did Elsa for this one little girl, and she's pretty good. I didn't know if she liked Elsa or not, but she was doing a little like an assessment, and she was doing really good. And I'm like, I gotta have to extend here because she's gonna be done in 10 minutes. So I had the Elsa reward, and when I put it up, and she just was like, oh, and I could hear her mom, like I didn't even know her mom was there, but her mom was like, oh, you know. So I think that
Right.
even the parents like it when you like try to find something on their level, you know, you're not just, and I'm saying a regular prop, if I had a doll of Elsa, might have worked too, but I think that
Yeah.
they definitely respond. And I had like just colorful bows that I put on her hair. And it wasn't any big deal. It wasn't jumping around or anything. It was, you know, just the bows. And I think that they like that. Or if the kid, say the kid shows up with a Paw Patrol shirt, I might not have it ready for this week, but I'll put a note for next week, have Paw Patrol ready, you know, because I don't really have Paw Patrol. I did though. Yeah, I did. Evelyn made me some. That's right. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
See, I think it works. It just depends on how you do it and how much you know, if I'm just sitting here stoically throwing things up, it's not going to be that much fun. But
Right.
when I put my personality into it, I think it's effective.
And Cindy, that's a real good point. The wonderful thing about being a teacher is we can each find our own way to bring our personality into the classroom, and
Right.
someone will respond to us where another student may respond better to a different style. And that's the beauty of this platform, is we can figure it out that way.
Yeah. And
And I
I've
think
seen
just I think just knowing, like, especially your regular students, just knowing their personalities, and, you know, you might find that one would prefer having the digital rewards, whereas another would rather you bring stuffed animals as props. So I think just knowing, and then again, you know, it does go back to personalities. There's going to be some kids who may not even be interested in any of it. You just do the best you can. So yeah, just being familiar with those students that you see a lot really helps too.
I think my goal, since I'm doing the Minicam kindergarten with Amanda Panda,
Which is great.
yeah, I think my goal would be to have mostly digital props, but things like, you know, I use this for my cubes, for square, for edges, for vertices, in, out, put it into the box. I'm like, you can use one prop for a lot of things. I probably would never get rid of my ball because it's a sphere, it's for throw, it's for catch, you know, things like that. So, and you know, you got to get a new apple every week if you have a real one. But there are a few props I would probably keep right here next to me. But I think I could get rid of quite a few.
Yeah.
So.
And you know, some people just do, like when you first start with digital, I'm going to just do stars, you know, and some people just do stars, and that's fine. Like Amy Lou, she was on the call Saturday and she said she's minimalist with even the digital. But to me, if you're doing digital, you know, go all out. Because, you know, I'm like, but I'm learning progressively. Like I'm not doing everything all at once. I'm just doing, you know, something different every time. So the kids don't really know what's going to happen and how it's going to go. So
one of the other things organizationally that I wanted to say is I usually make up this for each day. and I just tape it onto my laptop, onto the flat part, so that I can at a glance know what time, who, let's say I had a break in there, I would leave that. So I just know my timing and what to expect and what's coming.
Good idea.
So it's really, really handy just to have that taped right there. Oh, okay. For this person, I need to make sure I have this in hand.
Yeah.
So that's just an organizational prep thing that some people might find handy. Easy to do.
Perfect.
And I was going to say about the digitals, like when I first started, I thought I had to do the digitals. Like I thought nobody's going to want to book with me if I don't keep up with the program, But then I heard some parents complain about digitals. Some people want the digitals. Like you said, what you choose to do is not necessarily going to make it or break it. You just do your best at how your style is.
Yeah.
And fortunately, there are a lot of students and they do find their way to who they like. And that's kind of fun.
Yeah. That's probably one of my favorite parts about teaching with VIPKid is you find your students, they find you, and you just, every week they're going to be there, or every other week, however they choose to do it. But you just, your personalities go well together, and not that you don't enjoy the others, but it's just nice whenever you have that group and you're so good for each other.
I'm finally getting in my groove, guys.
Yay.
And then your groove changes.
I have one student left on Mondays, guys. Stephanie, I've been 7 days a week since I started with VIPKid, and some are mornings and evenings. So I've got my Mondays almost done, and my evenings are dwindled down. So yeah.
Wow.
You can set a whole new schedule after Chinese New Year, because Chinese New Year people kind of take time off, come back, go, okay, now this is Casey's new schedule. I'm going to make it work.
Yeah.
But Kasie said no to some priority bookings. You know how hard that is for me.
That's so hard. I just ignore all of it. I've been here long enough that I just do short notice everything, and I just get mountains and mountains of trials.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, I've been here for 4.5 years, so I've seen everything.
Wow.
I've seen lots of trials. I've seen lots of major courses. Last winter, I lost all my trials for some reason, and I got hit with all these like level 5s, level 6s. I'm like, okay, but you don't need the cheesy props. So I just played with the AR stickers. I took some time and I got to really know what was there in the classroom. And a few months ago, I started doing minicam, and so now I have, I'm just doing this, and I haven't figured out how to use it with all my classes. But I have each trial a separate folder on minicam, so I can pull out whatever trial I need to have. I've got all the props for that trials, and so I can put on the fruit right away. I can have like the tiger and the monkey and the parrot on my shoulder usually, and then that covers my face when I'm waiting for them. It's my snake, and I can do them off, and I can do like for the fruit, because I have them already in folders. Like, okay, here's the color trial, here's the fruit trial, here's the jungle, bike, safari, whale, salad, travel. That everything is combined, and it helps me because I teach like 100 trials a month.
I love that.
Wow.
Wow, 100?
Pretty much. Last month I taught 120 classes, and 14 of them were not trials.
Wow.
Yeah. So right now I'm just being fit. Yeah. And so sometimes I'll see my regulars, but not often anymore. They're just not booking me. But hey, as long as I'm booked, I'm booked. And so I love trials because I can do the same thing over and over again, and they won't know.
How many convert? How many convert?
It depends. Ever since they started this whole new trial thing, I haven't converted too much. I don't teach Starlight. I just teach the major course trials. Usually, my goal is like 5. This month is only 2 so far.
Wow.
So some months
that shows how many convert.
Yeah, my conversions usually make up for the no-shows just fine. Yeah. Especially when you do short notice, it all evens out. I think last month I came out $10 ahead. But I had like 20 no-shows that I just sat and did nothing to, and I had these paid breaks. So it all evens out. Pretty close.
Yeah. I wish there was a bell, like saying like you've got a trial, but ding, because I'm afraid to like
Yes.
And I'm like, man, I could totally get like a thumbnail done or something while I'm waiting for
Yes.
Right. So I have to keep it open, and I just like, oh, I hear some movement in the background.
Yeah.
I pop back in. But the thing about trials is they can switch at a moment's notice.
Right.
You have to have all your trials prepped. And when I had the month off of no trials, and I came back this summer, they're all new. I'm like, but I knew my routine.
Yeah.
I knew the lessons. What happened? So I had to start all over again, like a newbie, all over again, learning the 7 lessons all over again. But now that I have those, I'm good to go. And if they change it again, then I'll go learning curve, and then I'm good to go.
We might have to talk trials again because I am all Starlight now. I don't get to go to the jungle at all. But I do like the whale. It's okay. Let me check the chat really quick. Hey, Kelly, thanks for coming. Let's see. Jason said my constant props are his Mickey and Minnie dolls. He uses them all for slides that use pronouns. And he said, wow, I might get 3 to 6 trials per contract. So, hey guys, I've seen we've got about 19 people in here. Say hello. Let us
Wow. Hello, everyone.
Do you prepare for all of your lessons? And do you have trials? Lots of trials like Rebecca. The most I've had, Rebecca, was in September of last year, or 2018, because I've been a little bit over a year. My first full month of VIPKid, I had trials like 20 something a day sometimes. Lots of no-shows, but I ended up converting 19 that 1 month. But it was very much, and then I'm like, I lost my stuff or something, because I've never been on fire like that again. So I don't know. It must have been lucky that month. Oh, Kelly said me too. So Kelly said she gets about 3 to 6 per contract also for trials.
I get, if I have like a cancellation and I open up a short notice, then they're usually trials, but sometimes they aren't. Like last week I had 2 trials in one day. One showed up, one didn't show up.
Yeah.
So
I haven't even been getting trials for that. I used to, as soon as somebody canceled, somebody would rebook a trial. But it's been like level 1. I'm like, hello, every morning now.
wow, yeah, that's hard to start out with level 1.
Yes.
Get ready to be over excited.
Yes. Lots of energy.
Before we do the prop quiz, let's talk really quick about technology. Do you have to get anything ready for technology? I do want to send this to Cindy in just a second to talk about iPad as a backup. I put mine on the charger and make sure it's ready just in case as a backup. And that's just something I prep every night before bed, just make sure it's charged and right near my computer. And I prepare my Google Slides. This is funny, but you guys know my weird quirks. So if the class starts at like 5:30, at 5:26, I don't know why it's always a 6, but it is. I put my Google Slide on my phone ready to go. That is my my tech prep. That's the extent of it.
So my tech prep is the beginning, right before my first class. I always do a check to see if the app has had any updates.
Okay.
And if so, install the updates. I do that all the time, every day. And then I always restart my computer, making sure that all the technology is plugged in. And then for that first class, I'll go in and check settings to make sure my audio and video feed are working. And I have basically, that to me helps me reassure that I'm not going to get a surprising tech issue right at the beginning that I could have fixed had I checked it. So I find, and I close everything else out on my computer so that it's not competing with when I'm in the classroom. So those are just some of like first thing in the morning, first tasks before I start.
I have a question about that. So before I started with VIPKid, or at the beginning with VIPKid, I remember seeing someone say that they checked the settings, the video, the audio, and what's the last thing? Our speakers, our microphone, and our video, the camera, before every class. Do you guys check before every class or just the first one? I check before the first one.
Just before the first one.
Yeah. I just remember seeing that and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll remember to check it every single time, but good. So how about somebody else? Maybe Stephanie before Cindy, because I know Cindy can talk iPad. So.
Well, it's funny because for VIPKid, I actually prefer to teach from my iPad. So I don't really have a lot of tech prep that I need to do. I mean, like someone had mentioned the app, just making sure that I've updated, but I was put in a position where I had to teach some classes from the iPad, and I liked it so much that most of the time that's how I end up teaching my VIPKid classes. So it's really pretty simple for me. I just jump on, of course I always make sure it's charged and ready to go. And that's pretty much it.
Becca, how about you? Did you tell us already?
I use Feedback Panda, and so every morning when I get in there, I'll go ahead and like open up the Feedback Panda thing, especially if it says new to me, like new lesson to me. I'll open that up to make sure I have a template for that, and then I can tweak my feedback even before my first class or the night before, so that I know what to expect. And some people on Feedback Panda really write out what they talk about and what the objectives are and what they go over. So you don't have to spend time clicking through all the slides. You can go, okay, here's the main bullet points of the new vocab words, the new math terms, the new whatever it is. You can go, okay, those are the key things to take out of there. So I just make sure that all the new lessons to me I have ready to go. So after class, I can just go, here's a template that I've already looked at. Here are the names, plop it in, done, send it off. Add a few things after the class, go, okay, this person did struggle with this, so I'm going to change those words a little bit here for he struggled with this versus he did great, because I like Feedback Panda gives more of the excellent view, and then you can just downgrade from there as needed. But if they're doing just fine, just send it off.
Okay. Good. Okay, Cindy.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about preparation, meaning like your rewards and knowing the slides and that kind of thing. But yeah, to have some preparation with your technology. When I first started, I used an older computer. I had no idea what I was doing. And it worked for getting hired, but when I actually started teaching to China, it wasn't working. So I had to go to my iPad. And I realized that you can get into the class very quickly on the iPad, and you can teach from it very effectively. You cannot use the AR stickers. You can't use digital rewards or anything like that. It's just a straight camera. So, you can, like, Mary would be fine with it because she doesn't use, she's got all her props. The only thing you have to remember is now it's in landscape. Like I did all of mine in portrait mode where the camera's in front of you, and now it's in landscape. So there are a few different things that you need to know about the iPad. Make sure it's charged up. Make sure that, you can get online. The good thing about the iPad is it can go to a hotspot easily. So you can prepare for if the power goes out or your internet goes out or something like that, or your computer all of a sudden does something weird, you can go to your iPad real quickly. So that's a really cool thing. And there are a few things that I do have a free iPad user's guide for VIPKid that you can download onto your drive, and you can kind of read through it and see the different tech things that you need to know. It's very simple, but I'm not going to explain it all right now. And I do have some videos on my YouTube channel about it, so you can check that out. But I would recommend, if you have an iPad, have it next to you, ready to go. If you don't have an iPad, I definitely would recommend one, and you don't have to buy like the top of the line, as long as it's like a 10.0 or above operating system, which could be an iPad Air, iPad 3 is what I have. I don't have the top of the line. It doesn't have to be the brand new one.
Yeah. I remember Amanda Panda said, sorry, her mom sent one, like an old one to her, and she used it as a backup, and it was like, whew.
Some of the original ones don't work though.
Okay.
So don't be fooled. Not every single iPad will work. Some of them have updated enough. They can't update into the app that is being used now. So I just want to make that clear, because I don't want somebody to go buy one from someone.
Right.
Oh, what's wrong? It doesn't work. Well, there are some iPads that won't work for teaching.
And do you have to I have the VIPKid app on my iPad just to check classes. Is there a separate app for the actual teaching?
Good question.
Yeah.
Oh, you should get a prize for that question. Because so many people, they're like 2 seconds before class and they get on the group and they go, I can't, what's going on? There's something wrong. Well, yes, there's two apps. There's one,
Okay.
it's like the phone app. And then there's one, it looks exactly the same, except it has a white corner and it says HD.
Yeah.
And that one has your camera in it. Like you'll have your portal and then you'll have your teaching section. And if you go to my website or even in my Facebook group, I have a couple of videos that are not too long, but they kind of go through what that looks like and what you're looking at. And that is really important for you to do. Because if you're going to need it in an emergency and you don't know how to use it, it's not going to work.
Yeah, 'cause I was going to say, I looked up the app one time. I thought, well, I don't even know how to get in the classroom. So like,
Yeah.
Download the HD app. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I can actually show, I forgot, I can actually show.
I don't have mine's up over there, but
Actually
while
show
Cindy is looking that up, Candy had a question. Anyone doing the Journey certification? I didn't even know what that was. Jason said he took the quizzes for Journey on Saturday. Candy said, I want to do it, but I'm wary of the 10-week locked-in schedule. Kelly said she didn't see anything. Jason said the 5-minute session with the parent in lesson 11 and 21 has me reconsidering adding that certification.
I don't
And
know.
you don't know much about it either, Rebecca. Me neither. He did say that iPad mini works great for traveling. And Candy said that the iPad is great for car teaching when she lost her power and internet she taught in her car. So anyone doing the Journey, I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what it is.
No.
When is it? Is it like, I think I saw something about it.
It's a new course, right? A new certification, I thought.
Oh, really?
Why do they have to use the same name? I'm so confused. Is it
Candy
the
said
Journey
it's
thing
by
for
invite.
teachers or the class?
Maybe I didn't get invited because public speaking is still on there. I'm not getting certified for that one. And level 8 says I can get certified for that. I'm not getting certified for that one either. And the advanced grammar, those three, I'm like, they're like, yeah, you're not cut out for this one. But I do want to know, what age groups is the Journey for? I didn't get a message on that one, and I didn't get one on the pre-K the pre-K one, which I thought was hilarious because I'm a certified pre-K teacher. Okay. But, anyone else Journey or any of those? No.
No.
Nope, I haven't seen anything about it.
Cindy, you ready to show us the HD app?
Oh, okay. I kind of did, but I'll show you again.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so you could, the all orange one is for just like on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the HD. So you just press on the HD app and what do we get? Oh, okay. I was looking at the events. Okay. So I'm going to erase my writing. So this is what your teaching part is going to be like. And the very first one is going to be red when it's 30 minutes before class.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can only turn on the camera. Like you can go in the class, but you can't turn on the camera until 10 minutes before. Just like
Is there a practice room for the iPad?
I think I figured out. Is there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, okay.
That's what
Okay.
I would want. I want to make sure I have ducks in a row before 30
Yeah.
minutes before
So
class.
we have the home button here, and the home will bring you back to the portal. So you can fill out your information, or whatever. You can check your classes stats or whatever. Then you press done and you're back to the class. So there's two parts to it. One thing you need to remember is that it's a little different than your computer, where you can't fill out like a assessment during the class. And you have to wait to fill out assessments. If you do it on your iPad, you have to wait 30 minutes, which is, I don't really know why, but you can still do it on your phone, which is really cool. Like say you do your class and you just want to, do it on your phone. You can do your feedback on your phone, which is easy to do. But you can't you could do it on the other app, just like on your phone, I guess. I haven't really tried that. Have you, Stephanie?
No, I haven't. That's a good
Thought of
idea.
that.
Though.
That should
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're in, like for me, I just do all my classes and then I do my feedback. I don't try
Yeah.
to do it in between every class. It's just too much for me to try to fit in. I need a little bit of a break.
So, hey, Stephanie. Another Stephanie came. Hey, Stephanie. She said she got the invite and she's still thinking about it. So, great.
I can barely
I
get the
think
trial feedback in, and that's just copy and paste. So I can't imagine doing the regular feedback in between. No, I usually wait till that at the end. But I do learn to get the trial feedback out as fast as you can, because that can sell it.
Yeah, I agree.
So usually at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, trial first, then I can go rest, then I can come back to do the major course if I need to.
Now for
Yeah, the trials I try to do right away because
Yeah.
they say the trials, they want them. But usually I don't say a lot. I just say, you know, welcome to VIP Kid. Your kid is ready for class. I would love to see them.
Since
Like, I
there's
don't-
only like 7 trials,
Yeah.
I just do 7 templates and then I can just plug their name in. So I do take the time to make sure it's written how I would like it, but then it's just a lot of plug and go. Since there's only few many, and I don't want to spend time typing it. I'd rather just copy paste, change a few things to personalize it, then send it off.
So I do prep my feedback the night before for any student that I know. Like I will take just a minute or two, and I usually say hello and good evening. Or if it's a student I've never met, I'll say hello and welcome to my classroom. It was nice to meet you. A few things of what we're working on, and then at the end of the class, my little whiteboards that I have, it'll say their name and whatever they tell me. So they'll record that way. And all I need to do is add a sentence in, oh, Sue told me she likes blah, 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 blah. And, yeah. But it's easy to prep the students I know because I'm like, oh, I know she's going to struggle
Yeah.
with these words. Here's what, extra we're going to practice today. So I do prep all of my feedback the night before. So I almost forgot about that, Rebecca. All right. Are you guys ready to throw up some props? Just going to take just a couple minutes and see what you have.
Yes.
Wait too long. All my props are gonna be on the floor.
What's that?
I'm just doing digital because I'm not at my house. I could probably find anything you ask for. It might take me a while.
Yeah, half and
So
half.
let us know in the chat, what would you use for these things? Okay, so let us know. All right, if you had run is one of your words. CPR.
Oh, it's-
Yeah, just CPR.
I know running. Mhm.
Or
Mhm. Yeah, when I do walk, I walk.
Yeah.
Walk.
or put it on an angle and then you're climbing
Mm-hmm.
up or down. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really easy for those action words to have to do your TPR and have the kids copy you. Oh, I was reading Kelly said TPR. Yeah. So verbs, we generally use TPR. What about apple? Well, simple. Apple.
Apple.
Always on my desk. 3D.
Yeah, it could take me a
Can't
while.
find mine.
Under pressure.
I don't know.
Somewhere I have a yellow one too, so it's great for colors.
Oh, good. There you go. It was right there, right near you. I put you on the spot. Cindy and Rebecca with the mini cam apples.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, that's
Man,
what I
yours
like.
looks like Snow White's apple. Like you want to take a bite and you're in trouble on that one. Kelly said she's got an apple prop. Okay. What would you use for kick? Kick. Because my leg not reaching. I'm not reaching.
So I really like my little foot for that.
Yeah.
You know,
Meg kicks
Oh,
everything.
that's cute.
and they really
that.
like if you just put it in.
Yeah,
This is
that
nice.
is
Yes.
Rebecca and her dad do what do they call it? Like force perspective, right? Is that the word I'm looking for? Where things are really small and then they bring it in really big.
Mhm. Yep. I have to do that with my trophy that's on the floor now. I have a big trophy, and then I'm like, look, it's so big, and then go, it's so small. It's on the floor now because she knocked it to the floor. Yes. So I make sure it's like they only see a bit of it.
Yeah, she brings it.
And so you kind of hide your fingers, and so you actually looks like it's big, and then you bring it back. You're like, "Wow, it's so small."
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Good.
It's like it's a huge apple. Wow.
Someone else want to throw out a prop? Throw out an idea that we need to find?
Oh,
Circular cylinder.
oh, that's good.
Great.
Give me one.
Oh, where's my toilet paper roll? I have a circular cylinder.
You want it?
So this was Gabriel's box of shapes. So I just keep that handy for all my.
Yeah, it's good.
Dude. I mean, I've got lots of circular cylinders if you count my coffees and stuff. Great. All right, somebody else just called one out and I didn't hear it. What were you calling, Cindy? Did you mention one?
I was thinking about the weather, like,
Oh.
you know, sunny.
Mm-hmm. Or sunny. Whoop.
I have all my
Sunny.
weather ones here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
These are free in the teacher portal in the library. They had winter and snowy and spring and rainy and fall and summer, so you can use them for the.
This is great for windy.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I always have
Yeah.
pictures too. I've never done that. I always go.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
These are my
My kids love
seasons
grabbing
card.
the tissue and doing it.
Oh
I
yeah.
do
Oh,
seasons.
Candy started a bunch for us.
Okay.
Rectangular prism. I just have a big, thick book that I usually use for that one. I have lots of rectangular prisms.
Rectangular prism. Is that a rectangular prism?
The chocolate
Oh, that's good.
A delicious one.
See? That's what happens too. They get surprised. They're like, oh, chocolate.
hollow bones.
What was that?
Hollow bones.
Hollow bones. Oh my
That's
goodness.
Oh, that's what like the birds, I think.
Yeah. That's
Wait, I have a good prop for that.
I have
Cindy
bones.
Bennett gave me a skeleton once.
Found it.
it's not in my Manny Cam. There's nothing
Type in
there.
hollow. If you type in hollow, you'll find it. If you type in bones, you won't. You gotta type in
Oh,
hollow.
that's funny.
Oh, there you go.
Hollow.
I have bones, but they're not hollow looking.
I don't know why my
With Manicam,
skeleton
you
went.
gotta learn how to search things. And if you don't,
Yeah.
find another word.
Oh, you
That's
know
a
what?
trick
I
too.
would use my Google Slides would have
I've done it
something on
too.
that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
neat.
I might put up a skeleton like this, you know, of a
Man,
Yeah.
candy
replica.
always good. Spine. Well, spine I would probably try to show
I
the
have
best,
a
I
skeleton.
think.
I
Yeah.
have a large skeleton that I got at Halloween, but
That would probably have to be a Google Slide
I might
prop.
cover
There
it.
we go.
That might cover it.
Jason said his cell.
The spine. could
Oh,
be
there you
that.
go. Jason said his cell phone is a rectangular prism.
Yes, I use that
All boxes,
too.
tissues, toilet paper, cardboard to show hollow. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Wow, Mary has the best props. Kelly, I use a paper towel roll too. Guys, you know it's so funny. My poor husband, you know he is married to a teacher. He's like, honey, do you need this toilet paper roll? Daily paper towel rolls.
my grandkids just made binoculars today in their homeschool group, and they were
Cute.
hunting for bears, I guess. So
That's cool.
they're
Yeah.
still being used.
Okay, last one. What would you use for stop?
For
For
stop.
what? Stop.
Stop. Yeah. I usually say go. Oh,
Yeah.
So, or I have my stop.
Oh,
stop light.
very good.
I like that.
You know,
I
just
had one of those in kindergarten, and the red, yellow, and green, or red, orange, whatever, were on Velcro. I put them on Velcro so when the kids could talk whatever they wanted, like free time was green, when they had work at their desk was yellow, and stop was just quiet time. So
What I
yeah,
love
Here's
about
a
my
good one.
back,
that's a fun one.
this is
What's your favorite food prop?
My favorite food prop, I love my
Yeah.
salad bowl. I have every fruit right here. Well, you guys,
either
I have
my-
fruits and vegetables.
my,
I
pe-
need
my
My
some-
favorite.
pizza or ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah.
I still use this ice cream. This was one of the first things I bought, and I still use it almost every day.
It's my go-to reward, Kasie. It's the one that I find I use the most often when I
Yeah.
have figured
This
something
is
else
like for
out.
trials of little ones. This is great.
And the pizza is really cool for fractions. So, I mean, it's a great reward, but it's also great for fractions because they
Yes.
Oh
go
yeah.
out into pieces. So that's cool.
Jason retracted one. He said droppings and fertilizer. Yeah, the bat food. Kelly
Oh.
said she did the same one. Kelly said she
Oh,
used
yeah,
the
that one, yeah.
emoji.
I don't want to look that one up.
I actually have like plastic scat.
That's funny.
Of course you do, man.
Yeah, Mary has the bear scat hidden away from her bear research.
I have this hamburger that people love, and it's great for trial because
yeah.
you're building the sandwich. So you've got the cheese, the lettuce, the tomato, the bread. So it's great for that.
Rebecca, what was your squeaky dog toy that I missed?
My hamburger. You use my hamburger?
Oh.
Ah. They're like, what was that?
Droppings
Yeah.
is not in the Manicam.
Put it in poop.
And
I'm
for the
afraid to do. Oh, that you might get the emoji. Yeah.
yeah, for the jungle trial where they have Emma's
Ew.
for
There
milk.
you
Oh,
go.
drink
Yeah.
my milk. And
Oh.
then go,
For milk, I use these, and I ask them if they like chocolate milk.
I'm
Or,
like, ah! Oh, that's a cute guy. You see,
Mhm.
I love kind of freaking them
My
out.
back.
Like, ah!
And this milk works great too.
Yes, good.
Yes.
You
It
know,
came in
because
a
you
That's
get,
good for
basket
the
with stuff.
mammals, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So perfect. Well, thank you guys so much. If you like this video, I always forget to say it. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. We'd love ideas and topics. We have a few. So if you ever have ideas, please put them below too. I'm just reading the chat. There's something else I was gonna say. I didn't even have you guys introduce yourself. So before we leave, why don't you say hello and where everyone can find you? Where can they get more information about you or what's going on? Cindy, you've done this a few
Okay,
times.
so I have a YouTube channel, Cindy Bennett 13. I also have the VIPKid iPad users group, and so you can find me really easily there.
Mhm. And everyone has a link on Linktree. The Linktree is in the description box, just in case I forget to say it. Okay, Mary, I think you're next. You wanna?
Yes, I'm Mary. I'm from the Shenandoah Valley, Virginia. I have not been doing a great job of keeping up with my channels, but I'm Thrive with Mary on YouTube, and I have a website with that too, but I really need to get back to updating that. And I'm also a Pampered Chef consultant, in case anyone's interested in that.
Those websites are never-ending battles, aren't they?
But it is my New Year's resolution to get back on track. So,
All right, let's get to there.
okay.
Stephanie, I think you logged in next.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube at Teacher Stephanie. I just started a channel, so if you have not seen it yet, go ahead and go over there and subscribe.
Great. I think I subscribe with both accounts. I'll have to check and make sure.
Awesome.
I do that too. I use my
that's
sons
yes.
and my
I'm a
husband.
subscriber. Oh, it's Kasie.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to everybody. I'm trying. Hey, Bren. She said hello. Just jumped in. Well, you avoided your teacher no-show, Bren. Thanks for
Yeah.
And Rebecca.
Hi, my name is Rebecca, and I have a YouTube channel as well. Took some time off, but now I am back at it, putting out content whenever I can. Sometimes it's often, sometimes it's sparse because of them. So yeah, just check it out. Do VIPKid, OutSchool related things. There's lots of fun stuff.
Rebecca, I think the first video I remember from you was your synthetic phonics.
Yes, and that has gone pretty viral. I've got 10,000 views on that one. So I want to kind of bring it back a little bit, but I made back when they had the old level 3, I screenshot it and found all of Meg and Mike with the hand motions and the letters by them. It took me a long time to find all those, and I've made flashcards out of them. And so then I walked through. Yeah, that's mine.
Awesome.
I spent a couple months working on that. And so I like, oh, here you go, everybody. It's free. I'm not going to profit off of this because it's not my stuff. It's VIPKid stuff.
Yeah.
And then I walked through how to do the letter motions for each of the phonics. And that seems to help the kids, the students as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Thank you for that, Rebecca.
You're welcome. That was from like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's an older video, but it's great.
It's still good.
And I'm VIPKid teacher Kasie on this channel, and I'm also Entrepreneur Life with Kasie Oswald on my other channel. And that is just my newest adventure. So I'm learning. I don't even have much to say about it. It's all about entrepreneurs and groove, and I'm learning it. So all right, everyone, I hope this helped you guys out with prep. Leave some tips if you're watching the replay. How do you prep? And anything that can help new teachers, let us know. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.